The USA in the first half of the 20th century. At the end of the 19th century, the United States was the richest country in the world. Its wealth came from agricultural prosperity, massive industrial output, rich mineral resources, and the rise of trusts, the huge corporations of firms in the same trade which gradually came to dominate the market. The economic boom, however, brought desperate conditions in the industrial areas of the North, where workers lived in dirty, overcrowded slums and toiled long hours for low wages. The social problems and corruption in government were publicized by investigative journalists called muckrakers. Their reports shocked the Americans, who urged the government to take action through reform. Progressivism was led by Republican Theodore Roosevelt, who became the 26th president of the USA. He strengthened the Navy, regulated trusts, and carried out a moderate program of social legislation. The USA had bought Alaska from Russia in 1867. It had defeated Spain in the Spanish-American War and acquired Cuba, Puerto Rico, and the Philippines. It also annexed Hawaii and supported Panama's fight for independence from Colombia. The territory it gained there was used to build the Panama Canal, connecting the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. Imperialism, however, was regarded as contrary to American democratic values, and all the dominions gained independence except for Cuba, where Guantanamo Bay was kept for a naval base. When World War I broke out, at first, America remained neutral. The attacks German submarines were making on American ships were the main reason that caused America to declare war on Germany in 1917. In the 1920s, the economy continued to grow, though large areas like the southwestern mining towns, the farmers of the Midwest, and the urban industrial workers remained untouched by the new wealth. The 20s saw growth in reactionary attitudes like the Red Scare, that is, the fear of socialism. Political activists with radical or labor backgrounds were imprisoned and persecuted. The open-door immigration policy was replaced with restrictions and the segregation of minorities into city slums like Harlem and New York. Prohibition was introduced to fight alcohol addiction among the poor, but in reality, it encouraged the illegal traffic of bootleggers and increased the phenomenon of gangsterism. In 1929, the American stock market collapsed. The Wall Street crash marked the beginning of a worldwide economic crisis known as the Great Depression. Thousands of businessmen and millions of common people found themselves facing debt and ruin. Factories shut down, banks crashed, and nearly 8 million Americans were unemployed, spending hours in bread lines for free food. The Great Plains region was devastated by drought, and the consequent Dust Bowl conditions forced 60% of the farmers to migrate to California. In 1932, Franklin D. Roosevelt became president and promised the Americans a New Deal of relief, recovery, reform. Billions of dollars were spent on relief for the unemployed, on public works, and on the conservation of natural resources. Farm rehabilitation was promoted with techniques to regenerate the soil. American factories received a new impulse from the Second World War. At the outbreak of World War II, the United States maintained neutrality, but after joining the war in 1941, resources were focused on winning, including funding for the Manhattan Project to produce and test the first atomic bomb.